Good day. I am me. Hopefully you are you. If not, you will be. Yeah, so I think we're on part 7 of my testimony. Just finally went through a divorce and attempted suicide that failed. But yeah, I don't recommend anybody try it or do it, or in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I'm loaded up and headed on a road trip. And at this time, because it's almost winter up north, and being homeless in a car just doesn't get it the greatest. But yeah, so I am headed southbound to Florida.
What's going on?
Well, we got interrupted. I don't know, I've done a couple of videos already at the top of that parking garage, but for some reason the weekend crew has a problem with me filming up there. So I even showed them, and told them about the other videos I've already done there. But anyway, so I guess we're just gonna take a stroll, because it is Sunday and there's not really much traffic or anything going on, at least around town anyhow. So hopefully you can hear me all right. But yeah, so I'm gonna take another pause and set up my selfie stick, or whatever you call this thing. So give me a second. Okay, back in a flash. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, here we'll give you a little bit of view of some of the hotels there behind me. This is the old part, or original downtown Vegas. But yeah, so yeah, take a road trip back to the testimony. So I head to the Sunshine State, good old Florida, because I got some family there, and figured, well, that's plenty warm enough through any part of the year. But not only that, it gave me somewhere to where I'd be able to lay my head instead of being in a car for any longer. But yeah, so I went there, and didn't take me long to meet somebody to continue the using part of life, because obviously by this time, addiction is pretty much set in. But I worked a few different jobs there. But yeah, it didn't take me long to start getting into trouble in that state. They like to incarcerate people in that state. It's actually surpassed everything else for generating money. It surpassed oranges and any whatever else. Yeah, we're going through a tunnel here, so So traffic will be a little bit louder, but anyway. Yeah, so I go there. Like I said, it didn't take me long to meet people. But yeah, I could have died numerous times there because, you know, I became what they call a river rat. Even though in Ohio I was, you know, a swamp rat because I grew up around the swamps and swam in the swamps and, you know, with snapping turtles and water moccasins and, you know, just could have died numerous times through all that too. But yeah, so a river rat there, which is the brackish water, which is where fresh and salt meet, so the water's black. But they have something called alligators, and they also have sharks. But yeah, so, you know, yeah, I'm swimming in the black water, looking at gators, laying on the bank on the other side, you know. And it was a place called the Truss, which is the old railroad train track truss that used to go across the river, which is the one I was swimming in there is called the Peace River, which I have canoed down a good portion of it for quite a ways with a buddy of mine, and yeah, we did a bunch of stuff that we shouldn't have been doing, but anyway, yeah, now we're getting in the traffic spot here, but I'm gonna pause it for a minute. So I had to cross the street real quick. But yeah, so there's just some of the casinos there. Thing behind me, I'm right by the edge of old downtown, original part of Vegas where it all started at. But yeah, so yeah, I'm swimming with the gators and the sharks and manatees and all that good stuff at this time. You know, so yeah, could have been eaten by a gator or shark, or I mean, you know, I'm sure they got plenty of poisonous snakes and everything there too. But you know, I'm not thinking about none of that. I mean, you know, which reminds me of a story of my parents had a pontoon boat, and me, one of my brothers, my buddy, and my dad all went out on the harbor, and the linkage broke on the boat. So somebody had to get in the water to fix it so we could get back. So I went ahead to jump in the water, and you know, right before I jump in, seen a dorsal fin not too far off from where the boat was, just a single dorsal fin. You know, but you know, like I said, at this time I'm swimming with the gators and stuff in the water anyway, so it didn't bother me. I jump in, and when I do, and I come back up to the top of the water from diving in, I hear my brother say, "Dude, what are you gonna do if that's a shark and it gets you?" So I just started flailing my arms everywhere, and you know, and I mean, what do you think I'm gonna do? You know what I mean? Outswim it? But yeah, so, but needless to say, that kind of scared the crap out of my dad. So he wasn't too happy about that joke. He didn't think it was funny in the slightest. You know. But yeah, so like I said, I could have been eaten by a shark right then and there if it was a shark. I don't know. Could have been, might have been a dolphin. I don't know. I wasn't scoping it or checking it out, or you know, trying to wait to find out, because we were just floating adrift in the bay. But yeah, so it wasn't a fun ride home after that. Dad was pretty pissed, you know, but he eventually got over it. Yeah, I'm climbing to the top of another parking garage here. Yeah, so don't really have a here we go. Over here we do. We'll go over here. There's a mountain view. But yeah, so yeah, and then there's a time to where I was kind of seeing, wasn't really exclusive, but my buddy's niece, you know, was just a hookup, a situation ship. I don't know what you want to call it. Friends with benefits, I guess. But there was a time to where we was going from the town we lived in to go to Siesta Key Beach, and the road that you took there had pretty much nothing. There's nowhere to really set up the camera. But yeah, there's a mountain view from here, which is kind of some of the mountain that I don't know if I can get over to the other side or not. I have to go down to get back over there. But I got the music playing. I might be able to get through right here. Hopefully I don't hurt myself. Hold on, I'm gonna pause this. So, okay, that worked. We made it to the other side. Yeah, so anyway, but yeah, so we were on our way to Siesta Key Beach, and at that time the car that I had, the computer would only let it do 115 miles per hour. That was it. It wouldn't let you go any faster. So yeah, that's how fast we were going down the road to get there. And I set the cruise right at just before the computer would shut it down. So yeah, we almost had an accident on the way. Alright, let me see. I'm gonna get this camera set up again. I'm gonna pause it. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me. It's not the best view or whatever, but Yeah, right. Well, I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but that building right there, the shorter one in front of that taller one, is the Mob Museum. You know, so if anybody knows anything about Vegas, they had a big part in the start of this city, well, at least the gambling part of it. But yeah, so yeah, it's just numerous times that, you know, I could have died from swimming in the waters where there's gators and sharks and poisonous snakes and you know, who knows what else. You know, for all I know, there could have been piranhas or, you know, a lot of swimming things with sharp teeth to eat you. If anything, could have lost a limb or whatever. But by the grace of the Father, none of that happened. Not to mention being wasted, not in my right mind all the time, you know, with using and abusing and whatnot. But yeah, so that was pretty much 5 years of being there off and on. Because in that 5 years, I did some traveling too from there. Because this is where the internet comes in, and there was a thing that used to be called Yahoo Chat, which is where you could chat for free with people all over the world, or all over Earth. And, you know, and there was a lot of people that was the, I guess back then that was the Tinder or the Bumble or whatever the hookup thing is now. I don't even know. I don't get into all that, but that's basically what it was, and that's pretty much what it was used for. You know, so I would travel to different states to meet different women, and you know, it was basically just it was perceived to be to see if, you know, we were compatible to have a real relationship. But really, yeah, that's not what it was for me. But yeah, I traveled to, you know, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Sally Salt, Oklahoma, Albuquerque, New Mexico, you know, Birmingham, Alabama, Greenville, South Carolina, oh shoot, I can't even remember the name of that town. There's a little swamp town in Louisiana that I went to. And there was even one in Florida, Gainesville, Florida, that I went to see. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear the exhaust, but yeah, it's all true. It's just you know, most of them was a week, 2 weeks, and then I, you know, go back to Florida. Except for there was one in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I went there. I stayed there for, I don't know, probably a month and a half, and shouldn't have stayed there that long, because yeah, it was which brings me to a thing of a breakdown of a word for all the guys that want to hook up and get a sweet little mamacita. You know, they want a Hispanic girl. Well, a Hispanic girl, if you spell the word, is actually 2 words put together. His panic. So yeah, nah, don't take that to heart for all you, you know, senoras. It's just I mean, you know, but hey, if the shoe fits, what you know, hey, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, that's how you make up the word Hispanic, is just take the word his and panic. So yeah, now I'm not saying that there ain't some good ones, because there's good ones and bad ones in any part that you want to try to find somebody. That's just a fact. So yeah, so if that rubbed you the wrong way, then you're probably one of the bad ones. And if it don't bother you, then you're probably one of the good ones. This is just the way truth works with anything. If it rubs you the wrong way, well then chances are you got something you need to work on. If it don't bother you, then you already been through that, figured it out, solved it. You're on to bigger fish to fry, whatever analogy you want to use. But so there's truth in all these kind of sayings. But yeah, so. But that's pretty much what that 5 years was just, and half of it was probably spent being incarcerated and dealing with the legal system and all that good, happy stuff. Because now the using and everything is starting to, the karma is starting to catch up, I guess, on my part for not doing what I should be doing, irregardless of what other people were doing, whether it was, good or bad to me. But yeah, so there was numerous times, because we went swimming down in the river a lot of times. There was even times where we was jumping off of the bridge, and you can't see in the water, and there was logs and stuff floating down. So that's all it would have took one time, which that reminds me, there was an incident to where when we was at the truss, to where they had a big tree with a rope set up in it, and there was a guy there that was taking it to a whole new level with climbing up another tree with the rope to get more swing to go out. And I tried it a couple times, messed up one of my fingers, but anyway, but yeah, so he did it, and evidently that's what happened. When he hit the water, there was a log under the water that you couldn't see, or something that was floating down the river, because when he came up, he wasn't swimming, he was floating. And but I was one of the ones that jumped in the water to bring him over to the shore. We had to call the paramedics, fire department, and it was a little bit of an ordeal to get him out of the river, because it wasn't just wasn't like a sandy beach where you just walk down nonchalant into the water. And no, it had a steep embankment that you had to climb up and everything to get out of it. And I mean, he was all right and still alive and breathing when they took him out of there. How he's doing now or anything, I don't know. This was, still quite a few years ago. We're talking about, I'm in my mid-20s now. So, but yeah, so there was a few incidents like that there was one where me and my buddy went to a bad area to score some stuff, because the person that we usually went to didn't have none, and in the backup plan he wasn't around. So we went to an area that we didn't really know him like that, but yeah, we got shot at. So there were some bullet holes in the car, but so we could have died there, but we didn't get hit. It's all by the grace of the Father, for that I'm here. His grace, His mercy, and He has a true divine will and purpose for me to do for Him, and that's why I'm here. But so this is pretty much the extent of the period of the time that I spent there in Florida off and on. And and that's also where I met my second ex-wife, which I met her through that chat, Yahoo chat. yeah, and I'll just have to leave it there because I'll just pick up from there on the next video. Hopefully we won't get interrupted and kicked off of a parking garage on the next video. But yeah, so hopefully everybody's having a beautiful, glorious day. It's another beautiful, glorious day here on Super Bowl Sunday. I don't really care who wins. You know, that's just a modern day gladiator thing. It's just the way that they figured out how to monetize it. So, because it used to be free back in the Romans' day to make the people happy. Now they figured out how to make you pay for it. You know, unless you watch it at home on your TV, but really even then it's still not free because you're paying for the power, you paid for the TV, you know, and if you're having a party, you're paying for the food, the drinks, you know, you paid for the house, just everything. It's but yeah, and instead of them fighting to the death to get their freedom, the people that are playing, not to knock their abilities at all, so but they bought into the illusion of they play for money and this is how they get freedom from the system, but yet the system's still taxing them, making them pay for everything that they own. Not to mention they didn't teach them correctly on how currency works. It's not called money. It's not called cash. It is called currency. And it's called currency for a reason. You know, I think I did a video about that. If not, I'll have to do another video because I still got to do about the whole banking system and all that anyway. But yeah, so they're not taught how to properly manage it or make it work for them so that it's making more for them without having to work for it. But this is all part of the enslavement of the system, you know, that I'm speaking out about in some of my other videos. Yeah, so, but anyway, yeah, so that's why most of them, after 5 years of retiring, when they can't play no more, they're filing bankruptcy and they're right back that they worked so hard to get out of. Yeah. So if you are one of them people, find somebody to teach you about money or about currency. Find somebody that is a reputable, honorable person to help strategize your cash flow. And don't spend it all. Use what they give you to generate more so that you can stay free. And also help teach you and set up the proper ways to avoid the tax systems and all this stuff that the real wealthy people do. This is why they get out of paying taxes. It's not that they don't have to, they just know how not to. Because there is a legit legal way that you don't have to. But anyway, yeah, it's a whole nother video. But yeah, so just enjoy the game, whoever you're rooting for. You know, only thing I really care is I just hope nobody gets hurt. You know, and that it's a good game. You know, nobody wants to watch a blowout because it's not a fun game to watch. It's a one-sided game. So hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully both teams bring their A game. And yeah, that nobody gets hurt, no injuries, and everybody goes home to their family safe. And you know, yeah. So have a blessed day. Be grateful and thankful for things, and make somebody smile. Tell somebody that you love them and that you're thinking about them, and just hope that they're having a great day. But yeah, so peace, love, and light. Shalom.